everybody, today we have Yinka from Hairweavon, wigs and hair replacements. The biggest online shop for wigs and hair replacements and focus on women and men that have hair loss. Yeah. Yinka has, in my opinion, a very interesting career up to date. Like, she has already won 2 awards with the local enterprise office, the Rising Stars and the Female Entrepreneur of the Year in 2012 and 2013. And your background is in project management and science analytics. So how do you pass from project management and science analytics to get involved on hair wigs, for example?
When I was doing my leaving cert, I would have always considered myself as a C student, and I put my best in everything. I did like maths, I did enjoy physics, and I did do business studies, and I did like it somewhat, but at that time I wasn't thinking about myself as being a business person. And at one point I spoke to my guidance counsellor. I actually first went to Coláiste Druilig to a PLC college and did a 1-year engineering PLC course, because I thought I'd like to go into engineering, and then I found that I actually didn't love engineering so much, but I did love the maths, the physics, and my guidance counsellor in the college at the time suggested that I might enjoy analytical science in DCU. So I ended up going to DCU and doing analytical science, and the first 2 years I very much did enjoy it, but the organic chemistry got very tough in the 3rd and 4th year. But I worked hard and I got through it and I got my degree. But during that time in the degree, I knew that I needed to pivot somehow, because I felt that working in a lab all day with chemicals just all day wasn't going to fulfill me. I knew that I wanted to be with people, work with people, be communicating with people on the day-to-day basis, and I felt like me and my chemicals all day wasn't going to do it for me. So I did a project management course, the Prince 2 project management course, before I finished my degree, so that I had something to fall onto. And I also got an opportunity when I was in college to work part-time for one of the lecturers to do inventory of the chemicals in the lab, provide a new database for his lab, her lab. So that gave me an opportunity to work on some little project, and then I had my Prince 2, so that when I finished my degree, then actually I got a job as a project manager in a tech company that provides content management systems for universities, actually. So that was my first experience in the technology world. And during that time, working in project management in that tech company, and I also worked for Citibank as well as a project manager. During those times, I had this business idea in my mind. And really, to be honest, that business idea really came from my own cultural background, where as young girls in the Black community, we all wear wigs, hair pieces. Alternative hair is very much part of our culture and our identity. It's not so much a beauty or fashion thing, it's very much part of our heritage. But growing up in Ireland and wanting to be a young, sophisticated looking young woman, I really struggled to find a brand in Ireland that was providing wigs and hair pieces that looked good, felt good, was able to I could manage it on a day-to-day basis, and that it looked good, and it looked real, and nobody would tell it's a wig or hair piece. So I really struggled to find a brand in Ireland. So during those times when I was working in those jobs, I had this business idea. Could I start a side gig selling hair extensions online? I had some technical skills, and this was like initially just a fun project for me to get into, and it was only going to be a lifestyle thing, and set up a website and do this. And really, I can go on about what happens next if you like, but it evolved from there. That's where it started from.
It evolved, yeah, because now your customer will be very different to the initial customer.
Absolutely. like in the first 6 months of launching the business, it was going to be an online thing. And then I was friendly with a lady who ran a business in my local area in Rathmines. And I would chat to her day to day about how she's doing with her business. And, you know, and I would walk up to her shop and talk to her about how she's getting on. Could I help her with anything? And she started to tell me how she was struggling to keep that business going. She can't really pay the rent. She says, well, you could sublet a little room here from me. It might help me with my rent and just to keep going, and you know, you can have a physical presence for the business. So initially having a physical presence of a business wasn't part of my plan, but the opportunity just came. And I, especially at that time, I was 24 starting my business. I was so fearless. I felt like I could take on the world, and I really felt that I could fall back on my degree and the experience I had to date. And what was the worst that could happen? You know, I would go and get another job if it all didn't work out. So, you know, there was this opportunity to open a physical premises, so I did. And immediately opened the physical premises, opened new doors, because people actually started coming in the door saying, I have found out about this pieces that you're doing. I've had alopecia for so long. I've never been able to find a good hair brand too. My mom is having cancer. She wants a wig made. And really, from talking to these women, they were having the same issues that I was having for many years, not being able to find a brand that could provide wigs or hair pieces that looked good, felt good, and was easy to manage, and nobody would tell it was a wig. So in that moment, in those moments, I really felt that this was a calling, you know. I really felt that I have been called upon to go out into the marketplace and bring back really something of real value to the customers. So it didn't take long for me to just give up on all the hair extension side of things, because really, to be honest, it wasn't me, you know. I wasn't, in this day and age, at the time Instagram wasn't so big, but the Instagram lifestyle of wearing the hair, showing it, you know, that beauty, no offense to that industry, but it really wasn't me. I really felt like this was an opportunity for me to do something really meaningful and purposeful. So this quest took me to travels across India, where I traveled across the country to find ethical hair sources. I traveled around China on my own as a young 20-something-year-old, visiting factories and looking for manufacturing partners to help me develop my hair brand. And really, very quickly, we became a hair loss solutions company and not a hair extensions company. And really, I feel so lucky and so blessed to be really doing something, running a successful business that is also serving a real purpose, you know, and really meeting the need, a real need of the customer.
Yeah, no, certainly. Yeah, that's very impressive. And then having started so young, is there any special, did you find starting young, it was great, you no fear. So then, did the challenge for you existed? Did you see any challenges as a young female entrepreneur?
Yeah, I suppose I was fearless, but also I was a little bit fearful at times, you know. The idea to go and borrow money to expand the business was just felt a little bit out of my zone, and I felt very nervous about that. So I had a bit of a phobia to go borrowing money, you know. But really, I was told too many times that you have to put your money where your mouth is, or whatever that's saying. And really, you know, you go seeking grants and help from different organizations, but they want to see you put your money down too. Which at some point I needed to make the decision to really, do I want to go the next level with this thing and give up this lifestyle idea? And this is a real opportunity for really, you know, profitable business that was really serving a purpose. And really, it's really the help of my mentor. I've always had mentors helping me through the local enterprise offices. I've had mentors over the years. And the way I talk about the mentor is sometimes it's like finding a therapist. You know, you have to try a few until you find the one that really you gel so well. But my mentor, who I've now had for 5 or 6 years, he has really encouraged me. You know, I'm a very proactive person. I don't really need to be told what I need to do. Like, I can be advised what I need to do, but I know that I need to do the hard work myself. So I'm very self-motivated. But even when I'm doing all the great things, he's always, you know, just my cheerleader, saying, you know, you are doing a good job, you know, because running your business can be a lonely place. And other peers, young people, are not in the same space as they're not the same, maybe not in the mindset of running their own business. They're working their 9 to 5s, and that's fine. But to have other people in your age group who you can bounce things off when they're not in the same space as you can be difficult. So the mentor has been really great for me, because he's the one that tells me you are doing a good job and spurs me on for the next 6 weeks what you're going to achieve, the next 6 weeks what we're going to achieve. And really it was him who encouraged me over the years. Go to the bank and borrow the money. The numbers speak for themselves. It's healthy business to have some kind of a loan facility. It doesn't mean that you are weak because you can't organically grow your business. You have proven that you can organically grow to this level, but there is a demand for your product and your service. Go and borrow a small amount, and actually, you know, don't just ask for that amount, ask for more, because as he says to me, as a woman, you always so conservative. You know, men, when they need 10 grand, they ask for 20. When women, we need 10, we ask for 5. You know, so he really encouraged me and to really go and reach my full potential with the business. And really, once I had the resources, because I was running the business on a shoestring, you know, very low budget, everything, but at the same time the products were high quality products. So, you know, so I really need to put a bit more investment to get it to the next level. And once I started to do that, with a whole other bringing team members in and growing the team with the new resources that I had, really helped me to scale the business to great heights.
One of the next question I was going to ask you is how, when you make the decision to run it by yourself, sole entrepreneur, to have a team, in this case at the moment of 10 people, that's a huge leap. And how did you overcome that, or just went for it and see what happened?
Like the vision of being a lifestyle and a sole entrepreneur was really in the first year. After that, I started to really see, wow, there is huge potential here. And if I want to grow the kind of organization that I wanted to, I always knew that it wasn't going to be a one-woman business, wasn't going to do it. The other thing is, I was never a hairdresser or hairstylist. I had passion for helping people with hair loss, and I had technical e-commerce expertise, which is really the part of the business that has been my baby. Is the growing the e-commerce business, and it's that technology, what's next in technology, that's really kept it alive and really interesting for me on a day-to-day basis. So I knew that I needed to bring skills in from people who can do the hair, who can provide the service end of the business to the physical customer coming in the door. You know, and the e-commerce business didn't really take off from the start. Actually, the in-store business was what was kind of keeping us afloat. While I was working in the background, constantly developing the e-commerce, because business, and particularly e-commerce, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's doing everything right from day one, being very particular, really providing an e-commerce platform that serves the user, the customer, and not just about Google, you know. So it was some years before the e-commerce took off, and to convince our type of customers to shop online and not rely on the in-store experience. But there is still a space for both. But so it took some time for e-commerce to grow. So I needed the skills and the personnel to help serve our customers. So, and I knew that it wasn't going to happen solely. I knew that if I wanted the kind of e-commerce, I had a vision of growing an e-commerce company where there is a desk for the Spanish customer, the desk for the German customer, the desk for the English-speaking customer, and really it's kind of what I have now. But I have managed to realize that vision now.
Yeah. And you're exporting to, I can't remember, was it
42 countries?
42 countries,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was that hard to get that step, like moving from I'm delivering only to Ireland that I can control, it's easy to manage, to, okay, let's move outside?
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, there wasn't, we were always like with e-commerce, you know, the globe is your, you know, there doesn't have to be a limit really. If you have the right technology in place, you can sell to anyone, anywhere, which is the great thing. So from day one, yes, like our e-commerce first started with Irish customers because that's where they knew us. But the more we invested in our e-commerce technology and the back end of our e-commerce with the type of content that we provide with, you know, I always feel like there are certain gold standards now in e-commerce where we all shop online and we expect a certain standard when we go to any websites, right? And as we went down through that list, aiming to do things right from day one, great content, great SEO, good design, speed on the website, you know, it's a loyalty program, great, excellent customer service, because our kind of customers, often they need hand-holding in the initial purchase. They could be a lifelong customers, but they really need you to help them in the first time. I've never done this before. This is new to me. Once you hold their hand and you genuinely help them find the best solution for them, the next time they shop with you, they don't even speak with you. They just make that purchase. And you know, so all of those gold standard things, you know, the loyalty program to keep them back, you know, building a community around our hairless community, using our social media platform, doing all those kind of things that actually help us grow our organic ranking with us ever having to pay for any ads, was really crucial in helping us to go from selling to Irish customers online to selling to, you know, the global audience. And really we had already started to gain serious traction in our online business. Yeah. So, you know, like 4 or 5 years into starting. And then COVID happened. So so in a kind of a strange way, it just brought our e-commerce business to a different level, because we had a lot of customers who still wanted to order over the phone or physically talk to us. Then it really kind of disciplined them to shop more online. And then Brexit happened, and it kind of took me as a little bit of a curveball, because I just we were so busy with COVID that when Brexit eventually happened, I was just thinking, this is somewhere going to be negative. I don't know yet, but it's going to be negative. But actually, it was a huge positive for our business, because in all these years of trying to grow the online business, the competitors, the big competitors we were really struggling with were in the UK, the online competitors. But once Brexit happened, we were just inundated with customers who no longer wanted to shop with the UK online stores. They are based in Europe. They want to shop with the European online store, because then they're not dealing with all the customs charges and the duties. They know what they pay, what they see on the websites, what they pay. So we just got a new influx of new customers and really taking over the EU space in our niche industry. So I think it's one of those things where genuine hard work from the start, doing things authentically, and being prepared. Preparedness means opportunity. And it's, I think as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, constantly pivoting, constantly seeing where the opportunities are, and being ready, because I saw a lot of businesses struggle when COVID happened, trying to get online, but online doesn't happen overnight. You know, it actually takes some kind of framework to get yourself to a successful online level.
Yeah.
Yes, it might just get you through that moment, but really to become a successful online brand, there are kind of a lot of proper, legwork that needs to be, and fundamental things that need to be put in place, and long-term investments in some things that need to happen. So yeah, and just the sky's our limit, because the growth with e-commerce can be endless.
Yeah. So, Yinka, I see you have a huge amount of energy. Do you wake up in the morning full of motivation, or do you have those days that you want to be under the duvet and you don't want to leave? And if you get those days, how do you get out of bed? Or you just accept that this is a duvet day and stay in the duvet, charge batteries?
I'm not so much a duvet day person. I've always had a natural enthusiasm to be doing something. I used to be a marathon runner.
Wow.
So when I say that, actually, I used to be a little bit of a loner, because when you're running 20-something miles, you are by yourself. So, and when you're running your business, you are by yourself. But you're putting the hard work in, and you're getting the reward at the end.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit similar. So I have that type of a personality. So, and I'm always about meeting people, meeting new people. I make friends everywhere. You will be surprised. And I think that is kind of a nice quality of a business person as well. Not because you're selling to them, but you are learning constantly. I don't limit my friendships to people from my own culture or people that speak the same language as me. I have friends that I make in so many places, and I invest in those friendships, and they have brought so much value to my life. So I'm not really a duvet day kind of person, but in saying that, I can remember maybe 2 or 3 times in the 11 years of running my business where I all of a sudden felt, I don't know what to do with it next. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. It's not doing what I wanted to do. I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do next. I think maybe I'll go and get a job. I think it's with age as well and life happening.
Yeah.
Your fearlessness diminishes, and you start to get afraid. And maybe you have kids, or I have 2 kids, or life start to happen, and you start to think, okay, like, enough having fun now. You've been having fun, running this business, trying to make this work. Enough spending the money, and show me the money kind of thing, and have to put my business hat on at some point and go, okay, because if it's for me, I wouldn't let anybody who needs our product go without. And there was a point where I was giving it away, and I had to go, come on now, do you want to keep this going? Do you want to be able to sustain this and be able to reach and help more people? In that case, you can't be giving it away. You have to put your business hat on. And yes, I've had 2 instances where I thought, I don't know what to do next with the business. Actually, in one situation, I even put my business on the market to sell it.
Wow.
I said, I've built so much, somebody can take it up from here. I was fearful to go and borrow money to resource the business and things like that. And actually, I'll tell you a funny story. I met with a competitor in our industry to maybe sell my business to them. And then they made a suggestion, maybe we can partner. You're young. You have the technology experience. I'm not really in that space. We know about the hair and the wigs, but maybe we can merge together. And it was the first time the idea was I never thought about that. I went to sell my business because I'm like, I don't know what to do next. So initially, when that was said, a light bulb went off in my head, and I go, wow, this is amazing. I still have so much to give. Together, and with you having the resources, we can do this together, and we can bring it to the next level. And I got very excited. Very typical of me. I got very enthusiastic, very excited. This particular person said, oh, let's take some weeks to think about it, and I'm waiting week after week after week, And during that time, I came up with like a 6-page ideas, what I can bring in, all my technology experience, how I could bring the e-commerce side of the business to the next level. And after some weeks, when I eventually heard from this person, no, I've decided not to do this. no, it's not for me. They said. I was devastated. Because then I was like, I was putting all my eggs in this basket, that this is the next phase. But thankfully, in those moments of really being disappointed and but I still don't know what to do next, I realized I had this 6-page document
you've created,
of what I could do next. I could still go and do that, So I looked down at it, and I started to implement those things in my own business, and we just, exploded. It worked, and with my mentor and his encouragement, go and get your own resources. Maybe you don't need somebody else. And I can confidently say we are the leaders in our industry, definitely in Ireland, and we are competing big time in the e-commerce space with the UK, with the US competitors. We are really disrupting it, although we are a niche industry. It's not so much what we do or the product, it's how we are doing it. We are causing a serious disruption in our industry.
And I love the story. I haven't heard that story before, so that's incredible. It's an example of don't give up, or just try different things and see what happens, rather than when I'm giving up, that's it. And by trying something new, like selling the business, a total new opportunity came.
When you just think you're done,
you're done. Actually, you're not done. You're only starting.
It's just like the hair extensions, and like, we don't do any hair extensions in our business, but this is where we started, But like, it's just constantly opening your mind to, you kind of have to start something to be able to, for other opportunities to surface. But what I often tell people is, they're thinking about doing something, just go and do it, get started, just go and, because until when you start, you're not going to know what's going to come out of that. So you can talk and talk and talk, but until you put it into practice and actually start, you're going to learn each day, and you'll be amazed how your mind will take over the idea, and it can evolve, into something greater and bigger than you thought. And I'm so grateful that I'm running a successful business, but a purposeful business that I am, I feel like I have my purpose, What a pleasure for me to have in my life at 36, to already know what my purpose is, and to believe in that purpose, and to believe in my best life, my best career life.
No, totally. In helping so many people, they're having such a difficult time.
Absolutely.
Till they get the right solution.
Absolutely.
And a very different question here is, what does entrepreneurship means to you? What does being an entrepreneur means to you?
I think it's hard work. It's hard work. It's showing up every day for your project, for your course, but in the end of it, being able to govern your own life, govern your own career, govern your own day-to-day. There is, I always say from beginning, in those early days, even when we make a small profit, I wasn't so quick to put it in my pocket or go to Pennies and go shopping. I was always putting back and invest. It means making sacrifices too. But my vision was always that when I was successful, I was going to really become very successful. I wasn't so quick to have the quick wins, I was looking at the bigger picture and the bigger vision. So it's sacrifice, it's hard work, but amazing results, because and for me to say that I started something from nothing, and now I employ 10 people and I export to 42 countries, not just saying it but doing it, really doing it, is goals, and I remember my husband works in finance, and in the early days when I started I met him a year before I started my business, and he is so passionate about what he does, but he works so hard, so many long hours, but it never really seems like long hours to him. And I always used to look at him rather than go, you don't have time today. I'm looking and go, I actually said to him once, I wish I had a job or something that I would just love so much it wouldn't matter to me, the long hours and all of that. You know what, what's the word? I created what I wished for, because it did come, and it wasn't like I was looking for a business idea everywhere. You hear people say, I'm looking for the idea. I'm looking for the idea. The idea kind of came, and I took it and I ran away with it. So I'm grateful now for this opportunity that I have in running this particular business, that although it's challenging, it can have challenging moments, I still love it. I feel like every day I'm able to have autonomy to be able to express my creativity, my identity on a day-to-day basis, and be a leader in my, be the queen in my little show. And to be genuinely helping and supporting a community of people, and bringing those community of people together to empower each other. Like now a little bit, I'm kind of, although I'm leading the team, I'm kind of hiding a little bit in the background sometimes, depending on the situation. But I'm empowering them, my team, to go out there and be the best that they can be for our community of people. And when I get the feedback and, from customers, from so many places anywhere in this world, I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. You kind of have to not get overwhelmed, because you realize, I've really done something major. I am doing something really seriously major here. Those are the rewards of entrepreneurship. It's not always about the pay packet. Forget about the money. Yes, at some point put the business hat on and make sure you can financially sustain what you're doing, and sustain yourself. But there is a bigger goal than just the monetary value. I can end my career today. If today was the last day of my business, I can say, that's okay. I created something amazing. I touched so many people in what I was doing, impact their lives positively. I created jobs for people. And as a young, Black, first-generation immigrant person in this country, I am proud.
And you should be. So, that's a fabulous story. And I'm so happy that you're here with us today, explaining your story. And one thing that I wonder is so much you've achieved, so much so already. Is there something that you start now? Is there another little idea you start that you want to do next?
Yeah, often people come to me and go, I have a business idea, we should do this together. I'm just like, I know that in what I'm doing in this current business, there is still so much more we can achieve. I always say that every year when we blow the expectations out of the water, in my mind I keep telling my team, but I know that we've just started. And every year they go, but we've just done this. But I know that we've just started. So I believe there is still plenty more that I can do in this current business. So when someone comes to me with a new business idea, I have to stay grounded and not think I can put 100% in loads of things, So the time hasn't come yet to start a new venture, although I have ideas. But I know that I'm going to have to put so much to make it as successful as this one. But one thing that I am really passionate about is mentoring and motivating other young female, anybody, to start their own business. Because I genuinely believe that Ireland is a great country to start a business. I know that so many people were very generous. It's not about the hard cash support. Often it's the soft support. It's the training, it's the mentoring, is available to business owners to help you. And I have found Ireland a great country to start a business. And I want to encourage and inspire others to be the best they can be. And if that is starting a business, I want to be part of that. So that is something that, I will slowly, not again, same as my first business, it was never really about money. There was always a different purpose to why I was doing what I was doing. So in the mentoring, I would love to be able to mentor and walk with other prospective entrepreneurs to help them fulfill and achieve their potential. Because when you're starting on day one, it's very nice for someone to just hold your hand a little bit, not do the work for you, no mentor does the work for you, but and for you to see yourself in them and go, oh, if she could do it as a 24-year-old,
it's possible.
with zero penny, I could do it. Or I never see myself as an entrepreneur, and then maybe they look at me and go, oh, but she did it,
Yeah.
And sometimes young people or other people have so much creativity and they want to pour it somewhere, but they don't know how, and it's to help others, achieve the same entrepreneurial goals that I have.
Yeah. And it makes such a big difference to you to have that mentor over the years.
Absolutely.
So that you can do the same to the companies.
Absolutely.
That's, I'm sure, another way that I'm not surprised you don't have duvet days, because it's so good stuff happening all the time, and like making really positive changes to people.
But it's funny though, you can be an entrepreneur and a business owner, but you don't have to be a slave either. There was in 11 years, I would say probably 7 years, where hard work, late nights, I was doing everything in the business. I had some team members slowly, but I was still doing everything and involved in everything. I was the secretary, I was the electrician, I was the computer expert. I was anything they need, I'm coming and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm traveling across the globe to find the best products. I was doing what may be considered the luxury stuff, but I was doing a lot of heavy lifting too. But now as the business is growing and we can afford to get the right expertise and skills into the business, I am doing that. I would rather, for me, success is not just about how much is in my pay packet. Success is a bigger picture. So do I still have a moderate earnings, but I can now hire 2 more people to take this off my plate, delegate that off my plate, so that I can actually truly have a good work-life balance. And in this last year, my New Year's resolution was to watch more TV.
Oh, really?
Because I watch very little.
The majority of us is the opposite. Like, no TV, no Netflix.
Really, I didn't have time to even sit down and watch something and unwind, and, this year is to, give back more and work less, and empower my team to go and run the show and be the best that they can be. So there comes a time as well when you know that, okay, success is here, but in order for me to sustain and continue to do what I want to do, I need to look after myself too. I'm just slowly finding little ways to make sure that I look after my well-being, and I've deserved it after so many years. I often tell people, in those early years, I didn't grow up with a lot, and I didn't really ever really want so much. I wasn't the type of young person going shopping in Pennies or in town every weekend. I had the very basic things that I needed, but I knew I was building for something, greater, and I knew that the reward was going to come later, and I was patient, have to be patient, and not compare yourself with what other people are doing, because you have a greater vision. So
God, I've enjoyed every second of our interview, and even the last question that I have here is, what's your 3 top tips? But I feel that you don't have 3 top tips, you have so many. So I'm going to ask you to select the 3 top tips you would give to the students that might be watching us today, that they are thinking to start their own business. Very hard. I know it's very hard.
I would say, if you have an idea, just go. Just go and do it and start. Give yourself 6, because you really have to give the idea some time and your investment, not necessarily financial, but your time to really figure out if it's going to work. So just go and start. Go and start and do it. Ireland is a great country to start a business. That would be my second one. And number 3, no matter what happens, just show up every day for your business. Show up every day, do your best, work hard. What's the worst that could happen? You have your degree, you'll go and get a job, or different. this current idea could lead to the next idea that could be the success. And don't be worried about failing. Failure is part of it. See this as a better, this education you have in the university is amazing, but there is something university life can teach you about being a business person or a successful professional in the real world. So go and, invest in this business idea, because it could be the best education that you ever had, and it will prepare you for the next thing. My first job was in a chip shop, making chips and selling them at 14. The things that I learned in that job still helps me today. How to be with people, how to communicate with people, how to look after people, how to spot really what somebody needs. It may not just be the chips. It may just be, I see you, how are you today? So you learn so much from every experience. So go and get started. Ireland is a good country to start a business, and just show up for your project, for your business every day. And the rest, the universe will work it out.
Will provide, Oh, Yinka, I so enjoy it, and it was great. You share so much with us, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm delighted to be able to do it.